Welcome back, guys. Truman here from Truman H Fishing, and today we're going to talk about buzzbaits. So buzzbaits, how they work, first of all, and what they are. It is a wire bait that you cast out, and when you retrieve it, it sits up on top of the water, and it is a top water bait. So how it works is, typically when you cast it out there and you get it going, this is all underwater. Well, sort of. So how it works is the water comes in and it spins on this blade here. Like you see this one I've got, it's got like a little clacker. So let's pretend that, see if we can, I can't do it. That's a total fail. But you can hear in the videos that I do, and then I'm gonna throw in this video, you can hear this clacker going off. It just adds a little bit of noise. But anyway, it sits on top of the water and it's a great topwater bait. It is an awesome topwater bait. A lot of guys around this time of year, when the topwater bites on, they start throwing frogs. If you're in heavy vegetation, a lot of grass, stuff like that, frog absolutely makes sense. Something that's weedless, can't get hung up as easily, 100% makes sense. If you got a little bit of open water though, or the grass or the vegetation is kind of, I'll call it sparse, it's not very concentrated, one of these bad boys. So anyway, you throw it out, it's on top of the water, and all you do is retrieve it. You just give it a steady retrieve. You can work it in different ways. I'll show a video probably over my voice right now of me working this bait, and all you do is you just steady retrieve it. You might give the rod a little twitch, you might kind of speed up the reel just a little bit, or speed up the retrieve to kind of make it go faster just a little bit, get a little quick burst of energy or something like that. But the bass go crazy for these things. And the reason why is because they're so loud, first of all, and they're so obnoxious to bass that sometimes the bass just get agitated almost, I feel like, and they decide to just go kill this thing. You can catch a pretty big bass with a buzzbait, actually. I'll show a picture here now of a recent catch that I had. This bass is I think it was 4.82 is when it ended up being. I wasn't filming, unfortunately, but I made sure to go get a picture of it. But I was using a buzzbait. We talked briefly about what it is, how you work it, in the way of you retrieve it, maybe vary the retrieval a little bit. We talked about where to fish it a little bit. So now let's talk about some of the little ins and outs of the buzzbait. So you can put a trailer on buzzbaits for some of them. If the hook's big enough, you can put a trailer. This one actually has a bait keeper on it, so I could if I wanted to. People put all kinds of stuff on there, horny toads, whatever, and it just gives it a little more action in the water and can maybe entice some. Me personally, I don't typically throw a lot of. I typically don't put a lot of trailers on my buzzbaits. So a little trick with the buzzbait, that I've learned over the years, is I will try to throw a buzzbait in the same spot at least twice before giving up and going on to the next spot or next area, right? And the reason for that is because these things are so loud and they're so agitating to bass that sometimes when you throw it the first time, it doesn't get a reaction, doesn't get a bite, but then the second time it will. And actually that bass that I showed a picture of, it's a perfect example of, I threw this buzzbait the first time down this line, and I was working it, and I was working it kind of fast and kind of varying my speed a little bit, breaking up the cadence a little bit. And then the second time I got it up to the surface, and I was fishing it as slow as I could without letting that bait submerge and go down. And then I kind of sped it up a little bit, and that's when I got a bite. And so that's just a little trick for you guys to try out if you ever try out a buzzbait, is throw it in the same spot at least twice before giving up and going on the next spot. And the reason for that is it's similar to a frog, and you see a lot of guys throw frogs in the same spot multiple times. They try to hit the same lily pads or the same a piece of vegetation. It's the same deal. It's just it just agitates them a little bit, or agitates them just enough to make them bite. Now let's talk about the gear and what I use to throw a buzzbait. So I have my Daiwa Tatula on here, And I've got it paired up. It's a heavy fast, and I have it paired up with my Shimano Corrado 71 XG, and it's an 8.2 to 1 gear ratio. And the reason for that is when you're throwing Topwater, it's just kind of, for me, I like it for a couple reasons, especially when I'm throwing these buzz baits. So first of all, I can get this bait up on top of the water super fast. With the 8.2, I just reel it a couple times pretty hard, and it's up on top of the water. Another thing is when you're fighting fish, actually, when they've actually hit it, I like the 8.2 to 1 for the simple fact of, typically when bass hit topwater, they come up and they grab it and they go straight back down. And so I like to have the 8.2 so I can catch up with them as they're going down, and I can make sure that I can get that fish in and really fight it, because there are some pretty big fish that hit topwater. And back on the rod for a second, I go for the heavy because you need a backbone when you're throwing topwater, especially because, like I said, these bass will go down. They will come up and grab it and go straight down. Something else that I add to the buzzbait, and a little tip for y'all, is that if you're working it and you do get a bite, so you get a bass to come up and hit it, it's kind of similar to a frog, and that you want to give it just a little bit. Make sure that bass has got it in its mouth. Just give it just a second. I say a second. Give it 1 to 3 seconds. You just kind of count it out. Try to keep your composure and just kind of go 1, 2, and on that 3, that's when you want to set the hook. And the reason for that is you just want to make sure that this fish has got it. When fish hit topwater, especially, they can come up and they can hit it and just miss it, right? And for some reason, it's not like a soft bait or something like that where a bass can just really pin it down and make sure it's got it. It's a violent thing. It's a swift moving motion, and so you want to make sure that you wait just long enough that when you set that hook, you've got that fish. And funny enough, actually, a story. So the fish said I caught the one that was a 4.82 or 3 or whatever it was. Once I got him back in the water, I literally threw this buzzbait back out about 5 feet to the right, and I had a fish that came up and blew up on this thing, and I got impatient because I just caught this 4.8. I'm a little amped up, a little juiced, and so it blew up on this thing, and I missed it because I immediately just jerked, right? Which happens, but you want to give it just a couple seconds just to make sure that bass has got it. When you set that hook, you've got that bass. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like these videos, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your other friends. If you haven't, please check out my Instagram. It's TrumanH_fishing. I give some behind the scenes stuff as well as just some pictures and stuff that I take as I'm fishing and doing all that stuff. Some bloopers, some reels, that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you guys like it, please like and subscribe, like I already said, and appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.